Welcome to this explainer. Look, living with a vestibular disorder often feels like you're fighting this invisible, exhausting battle every single day. But today we're taking back control. I'm going to be stepping in as your clinical therapist to guide you through a step-by-step daily self-care routine. We're going to specifically tackle exactly how to manage the physical and emotional toll of these conditions. So if you've been feeling completely overwhelmed by the dizziness, the fatigue, or that intense anxiety that just naturally comes with chronic symptoms, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to build a concrete, actionable toolkit to help you get your quality of life back. Okay, so let's quickly review our game plan for today. We're covering 5 key steps. First, the stress-dizziness connection. Second, tracking your unique triggers. Third, building a morning routine for your breath and body. Fourth, reframing stressful thoughts. And finally, lifestyle planning and sleep habits.
All right, part 1, the stress-dizziness connection. First up, I want to fully validate exactly what you're experiencing and look at the very real physical connection between your mind and your balance system.
Now, you might be asking yourself, why do I feel so dizzy and nauseous all the time? Well, it is completely normal to feel this way, and you are absolutely not imagining it. Think of your brain like a computer. It's constantly trying to combine signals from your eyes, your body's physical sensors, and the balance organs deep in your inner ear. When it gets faulty or unusual information from that balance system, it automatically triggers these body reflexes that make you feel sick or disoriented. Basically, it's your brain's way of flashing a giant warning sign saying, hey, something is wrong here. And yeah, it can be incredibly distressing.
And this brilliantly illustrates the vicious cycle you're probably trapped in right now. Your dizziness causes stress, and that stress, well, it triggers a classic fight-or-flight reflex. Think about it. Your body literally thinks it needs to run away from a bear, so it gets ready to fight off that threat. Your breathing gets faster, your heart rate speeds up, and it pumps blood straight to your muscles. But since there's no actual bear, it's just an inner ear mismatch, the side effect of that massive physical surge actually leaves you feeling twice as dizzy and nauseous. So our absolute top priority is to short-circuit this stress response.
Moving right along to part 2, tracking your unique triggers. Before we can change your habits, we've got to establish a baseline.
So here's your homework. I want you to try keeping a daily journal to track your energy levels, your diet, and your specific symptoms. Logging this data is absolutely crucial because it helps us identify the exact patterns that are making you feel unwell. You might suddenly notice your dizziness spikes after eating certain foods, or maybe it correlates perfectly with a bad night of sleep. The bottom line is we simply cannot manage what we do not measure.
Now, what's really fascinating here is how wide-ranging these triggers actually are. They span physiological, psychological, lifestyle, and environmental factors. What knocks one person entirely off their feet might not bother you even a little bit. Your journal is going to help us pinpoint which of these are your main culprits. I mean, for some patients, it's the harsh fluorescent lighting at the grocery store. For others, it's high-sodium foods, hormonal shifts, or even sudden drops in barometric pressure when the weather changes.
All right, part 3, morning routine. Breath and body. Let's get right into the core of your new daily self-care toolkit.
We are designing a routine to intentionally block that stressful fight-or-flight reflex before your day even begins. Controlled breathing is going to be your absolute anchor here. I want you to practice this specific stomach breathing in a quiet place every single morning. Place one hand on your chest and the other on your stomach. The goal is to keep your chest completely still. Only let your stomach rise and fall. Let's actually try right now. Breathe in through your nose for 2 seconds, take a quick beat, and exhale slowly for 4 seconds. Doing this manually resets the oxygen levels your body relies on, and it actively lowers your heart rate, which can literally stop nausea in its tracks.
Then, we build on that calm with progressive muscle relaxation. Right after your breathing exercises, take about 10 minutes to intentionally tense and then completely relax specific muscle groups. You'll want to start down at your toes, curl them tightly for 5 seconds, then fully release and just feel that warmth wash over your feet. Then work your way up. Pull your stomach in, make a hard fist, hunch your shoulders all the way up to your ears, and finally, scrunch up your face and forehead. This process physically forces the deep-seated tension right out of your body, significantly dropping the physical symptoms of stress.
Which brings us to part 4, reframing your stressful thoughts. Moving from the body to the mind, we need a mental toolkit too.
Look, it is incredibly hard to ignore your symptoms when you feel awful. We all know that. But if you find yourself entirely unable to stop paying attention to them, I want you to actively ask yourself a really tough question. Is your worrying actually causing more stress than the physical symptom itself? Take a second to let that sink in. Very often, the intense anxiety about feeling dizzy ends up creating a far heavier burden than the actual dizziness itself.
If the answer is yes, and you catch yourself spiraling into those what-ifs, we have to practice distraction techniques. You can't just command your brain to stop thinking about it. That never works. You have to actively fill that mental real estate with something else entirely. Call a friend, put on a really captivating show, or plan a fun future activity. By intentionally shifting your focus, you are literally rerouting neural pathways away from the panic center of your brain. Cut yourself some slack and stop dwelling on things that are totally outside of your control.
And finally, Part 5, Lifestyle Planning and Sleep Habits. Let's look at how we structure the rest of your day to protect your recovery.
Because fatigue is pretty much an ever-present companion with vestibular disorders, pacing yourself is absolutely vital. I want you to think of your daily energy like a cell phone battery. You only have so much charge for the day, and you have to budget it wisely. You simply cannot just push through the fatigue like you may be used to. You've got to schedule your most demanding activities during the times of day when you naturally feel the most energetic. Break larger chores down into small, bite-sized segments. And, this is key, take planned rest breaks before you even feel exhausted. Now, a massive piece of that energy budget is your rest. Sleep deprivation directly exacerbates vestibular symptoms. If you aren't sleeping, your brain simply cannot recalibrate. So we need strict, supportive sleep hygiene. Try your hardest to avoid electronics for a full hour before bed, because that blue light literally stops your brain from secreting melatonin. Lower the lights in your home in the evening, use earplugs if noises wake you up, and if lying flat triggers your dizziness, graciously accommodate your body. Use a wedge or extra pillows to elevate your head. Now, what happens if you wake up in the middle of the night and just cannot get back to sleep within 20 minutes? Please, don't lie there tossing and turning and forcing it. That just creates more anxiety. Get up, leave the bedroom entirely, and go do a quiet activity. Read a physical book, not a glowing tablet, under a very dim lamp. Only return to your bed when you feel your eyes getting heavy and you are truly, genuinely sleepy again. Remember, while there is no magic pill to instantly cure a balance system issue overnight, establishing this structured daily routine changes the entire game. By mastering your controlled breathing, rigorously tracking your triggers, and fiercely protecting your rest, you are putting the power of symptom management right back in your own hands. You're actively training your nervous system to stay calm even when your vestibular system is acting up.
So as we wrap up this explainer, I want you to think about your personal plan of action. You don't have to tackle all of this at once. You can't control the inner ear, but you have absolute power over your routine. So I'm going to leave you with this question. Tomorrow morning, will you let your symptoms dictate your day, or will you choose just one of these tools to take your power back? Will you start by opening a daily journal? Will you try 2 minutes of stomach breathing? Pick just one thing to start with tomorrow. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next explainer.